Hi, it's Ashleigh from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and welcome back to my channel where I make a lot of cake and cookie decorating tutorials as well as give a lot of baking business tips. And this is an episode of Fail Friday. We haven't had a Fail Friday episode in a very, very long time, but I felt like this video definitely merited that title. If you guys follow me on Instagram, then you know I've had some difficulty decorating cakes with whipped cream. I really don't do it too often just because I find, first of all, it makes it a lot harder to keep whipped cream decorated cakes out at events, so that's pretty much the main reason. But the other reason is it's extremely difficult for me to do what I do with buttercream with whipped cream. So I really wanted to show you guys an option of Lambeth piping with whipped cream. But the first time around in this video, I epically failed. And you may have seen in the beginning, I used a gelatin mixture to kind of stabilize the whipped cream, and it really ended up making it very almost chunky and curdled looking. I thought that I hadn't over whipped this too much, but with that stabilizer in there and the whipping and then the colorant, it really just kind of looks very curdled to me. The design was all right, but it didn't work out in the end. Now, a lot of you guys gave me several tips on how to fix my curdled whipped cream problems. I actually didn't end up adding any stabilizers whatsoever. I just went with whipped cream by itself, a little bit of icing sugar, as well as some vanilla, and then I left some heavy whipping cream unwhipped so that I could incorporate it in and fold it in with the colorant. I found that when I used that method, it really helped, and it really made sure that I avoided over whipping and getting that curdling that I got the last time. And I could already tell at this stage, smoothing it on, that it was way smoother and no butter chunks had formed or anything like that this time around. When using real whipped cream like this, as opposed to some other type of whipped topping, it can be really challenging battling the heat. Now, it's not really that warm in my house, but even just room temperature can make things tricky, plus the warmth of your hand with that piping bag. So what I did was I froze my cake before actually decorating it. This made it a lot easier for me to get things smooth. And you'll notice that some spots aren't perfect. That's because I didn't want to keep going too many times, because if I kept scraping and pulling things off and trying to get it more and more smooth, I was really afraid that things would end up curdling. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, doing the swags with whipped cream was really difficult. It's just so much more of a lighter texture than royal icing or Italian meringue buttercream or Swiss meringue buttercream, so I was having some difficulty. You'll notice I have some scrape marks here and there because I did need to scrape things off. I end up adding a lot more to this cake to cover up the mistakes. That is very classic me. Now, I know some of you had suggested to add in stabilizers like cream cheese or mascarpone, which I've done before, but I always find when I add in that type of stabilizer, it's just not as smooth as I would like it, no matter how much I whip it, how much I run it through a sieve of some sort to get it really smooth. So that's why I decided to go without any stabilizer this time around. But the worry with that is obviously things are going to get a little bit more curdled more quickly. So the faster you can work with this, the better. I also found that once again, it's something about this pink food coloring that I'm using. I'm not really sure what's causing it, but I used this pink the last time and it did curdle on me. Now, it's not as big of a deal because obviously this is very small detailing here. It's not the whole cake, but you can see I had a little mishap there. I put that on with a really large piping tip thinking that it would be fine. Spoiler alert, it was not fine. So instead I decided to cover things up with that kind of green detailing there, which I felt worked pretty well. And then I added on these royal icing roses that I made a little while ago. Royal icing detailings like this never really go bad. It's basically just sugar, so it kind of preserves itself. And then I'm going to add on these edible butterflies. It's basically just made out of a wafer paper, and I'm placing them directly on the whipped cream. I was really pleasantly surprised that it did just stick to the whipped cream, and they didn't get overly wet either, so there was no wilting going on with this. Final finishing touches, just adding on all of these little sixlets as well as some white pearls. And yes, I did throw about 30 to 40 of these pearls on the floor by accident, if you were wondering. I'm happy with the way that this turned out. I was glad that I was able to fix that curdled mess on the side of my first cake, but would I say that I'm an expert at teaching you how to decorate with whipped cream? I don't know about that. For my particular climate, adding no stabilizer whatsoever really did work for me instead. But the biggest takeaway from all of this is always just to make sure that you have a little bit of whipping cream to the side so that in case you do curdle it, you can always fold that back into your mixture, and that way you're going to end up with something a lot smoother. Plus, the colder the temperatures, the easier it is for you to work with whipped cream. Now it's time for the subscriber submission of the video. This is so cute, and it was really actually hard for me to choose a submission because they have so many cute things like cookies as well. So definitely go and check them out. And if you want to be the next subscriber submission of the video, then please follow me at SD Bake Shop on Instagram, where you can either tag me in a photo or send me a photo. Any and all dessert levels are welcome. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading weekly, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Also, be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love hearing from you guys. Bye!